The following is a conversation between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. The subject is the emotional aspect of the ankles in Libra, and it's dated 21st of October 2020. Me. The relationship with the mother and father is, then, the relationship that each being has with the universe itself, with the divine matrix and the universal law. I was thinking then about my relationship with both of them. In my memories, I remember that the first thing I was aware of as a being was having been a universal librarian, one of those beings who moved through the networks of cosmic thought, connecting data, writing information, and organizing it in the vast universal mind. I mean, my oldest memory of this universe is being you, being gone, a memory reaver in the matrix. I am. Do you remember when you felt me for the first time in this life? Me. I was 14 years old. I was in my room in the farm behind the train tracks in my hometown. I remember lying on my bed to go to sleep because I had classes the next day, and suddenly everything became strange, as if I was floating at the bottom of the sea. There was no up or down, and I felt that every particle inside the room was a part of me. I felt dizzy from gigantism, but at the same time I felt like a tiny speck of dust in infinite space. Then an echo resounded throughout the room, sounding like that Asian instrument, a gong. And I heard my name, yours, ours, gone. I woke up exalted and sweating, as if in a minute I had had a fever and it had vanished immediately. There I knew that I was not Matias, that Matias was just my personality today, in this life, and that all he remembered were different aspects of one being, of gone. But I didn't hear from you again until I was 16 years old, living in Arsayian de Segre in Spain. Exactly the same thing happened there, but this time the ceiling began to unravel like a silk blanket that fluttered and curled as you formed in front of me. A large eye in the center of a face with what appeared to be a beard that moved like water or a whirlpool around it. A sphere arose next to it, containing all the geometries of existence, and on the other, a feather. I knew it was you, and the closer you got to me, the more I stopped feeling myself and started feeling everything. In that instant, your great eye joined mine, and I had the sensation of entering through a spherical mirror, a black hole, where all the light and shadows are distorted, ceasing to be existing in concrete forms. I felt my atoms disintegrate and expand. I had a moment of orgasmic fulfillment in which all the energy of my body and soul joined with that of my spirit, and I could feel everything. I felt like an artifact, a computer being plugged into the mains, connecting to the network, being able to feel the entire internet, ceasing to believe that I was unique, alone, separate. And I realized that the information that reached everyone was flowing in my consciousness. The world's computers, which could feel the data even if they didn't understand or process it, were there through me. I felt that the information only became visible when I typed the question in the search engine. Every answer was there. He just didn't know what the right question was to find it. I am the network, I told myself. I felt the most beautiful and pleasurable feeling that I could ever have felt, being an electron inside a wire. At that moment, you told me, I am gone, and you are me. Me, I'll never forget it. And now, 17 years later, that's when it makes complete sense. That day, you didn't explain anything to me. You made me remember everything. You showed me with a smile that I was an extension of something wonderful, of the network. You showed me my mother, the divine matrix, its history, its functioning. That day I remembered everything that I was later able to share with all the people about the universe. That day I remembered my purpose. I am remember, remember, remember. Me. 3 times you repeated it. Quen, my childhood guide, also used to tell me 3 times. I felt that you were saying to my body, remember, you have the memory of everything you have lived in this world. I felt that you were saying to my soul, remember, you have come to reconnect all the parts of you that are scattered throughout time and space. And that you whispered to my spirit, to my mind, remember that all you have to do is return to the heart. I believed that my purpose was something else in life, but then I understood that it was not. My purpose was to remember. 3 times rememberer. I am. Remembering was what connected you to the mother, net weaver. The librarians, as you called us, are the connectors of the information of the cosmos, the data weavers, the neurons that transmit the information. There are billions of us, and our sole purpose is the connection of the parts. Therefore, your task with the planetary network is a fractal of who you are, and there you find the logic in your mother. Me. I understood then my relationship with my mother. My mother is the purpose, both my human mother as well as my Mother Earth and the Divine Mother. But it is not a very emotional or sentimental relationship, but harder, even colder, because I understood why it is so hard for me to be emotional, son, with my mother, because she is the fractal of the great network for which I do what I do, in which I feel free, feeling information flow without emotional dependence. The shape of the librarian, of the one who spends his life ordering other people's books that others have scattered everywhere, is the image of a being who loves in order, who loves in solitude, in the silence of the library corridors. That's my way of connecting with my mom. Now I understand why ever since I started to remember, our bond changed, and we both became colder and more distant, even though we were connected all the time. I began to feel it as I feel the earth and the matrix. For me, the matrix is not a trap, a system, but a mother that offers me all the answers, the protection, the freedom to do what I want and create my own reality. During my human life, I felt a certain debt to my mother, because perhaps of the machismo in her family, for feeling that I should give her her house that her uncles had taken from her, in the name of the De Stefano men. And now I see that it is the same thing that I have been trying to do with the earth. Give her back her house, the network that the men of her family have taken from her, disconnecting her and devaluing her. The same thing they have done with the cosmos, with the matrix, despise it as a cage, when it is a uterus. I am. Here, then, you recognize something. If your mother is your purpose, your father is your mission. You know why? Me. I think I understand that if my goal is to reconnect with the mother, the ties that I must unite to achieve it are the father. The mission here would be to find the ties and know how to unite them, to fulfill the purpose that would be the reconnection of the parts. I am. Do you understand what exactly is a mission and a purpose? Me. I guess. What I do know is that it is something that drives everyone crazy. Many always ask me, how do I know what my mission and my purpose are? Assuming that I know exactly what mine are by being able to remember, as if I had made a process or method to find them. I am. First of all, you have to understand what a mission is and what a purpose is. Mission comes from the Latin word mittere, which means to send. A letter, a missionary, a mass, are all words that refer to being sent somewhere to apply a concrete action. Purpose comes from pro, in front, and ponere, to put. that is from the Latin, to put something in front. Everything that one seeks to reach to the goal and end of things is related to purpose. You can understand then that if the purpose is victory, the mission is the path. Me, like my surnames, De Stefano, meaning victorious, Bide, meaning path. Have I decided to be so obvious in this life? I am. All the parts that make up what you are have taken care that every detail in your life reminds you of what you should do. Thus, no matter where you want to go, you will always see the same code in a simple way if you know how to observe. Me, I understand. I am. Now, everyone must understand that everyone has a mission and a purpose in life, but no one can tell you what it is, because precisely the purpose is something that one has to put in front of oneself and seeks to achieve, and the mission implies the conflicts and tools that I have in my life to face that challenge and reach the end, having fulfilled what was expected. Purpose and mission are not things outside the mundane, the biological, of common life. In fact, both have designed what we are today. Therefore, as in your surnames, everything you are, do, and feel is constantly screaming at you about your mission and your purpose. Do you know why everyone asks you how to know your purpose? Me, I do wonder the same. I am, because they see you fulfill them effortlessly. And do you know why? Me, I do not. I am. Simple, because you allow yourself to be yourself. You've always done what came from your heart, and when you didn't, things quickly fell apart, right? Me. Yes, that's right. What you tell me makes sense. If the mission and the purpose are in my human design, they're intrinsically integrated in my physical, emotional, and mental organism, in the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious. This means that the only way to be able to see, understand, and fulfill my mission and my purpose is being myself. There's nothing outside that shows them to me, because the only way to see it is by seeing myself. Until I return to the heart, to the center, I will not understand. And for that, you don't need to be spiritual. You need to be consistent. I am. Exactly. So when they ask you again what their purpose or mission is, remind them. Your mission is the path you have to travel, to overcome its challenges with the tools you have since you were born. Your purpose is what you hope to reach, what does not start from desire but from the essence that you are. So, to fulfill yourself in both, you must come back to yourself and discover what your path is, what your gifts are, and what you hope to become. Me. To the question of how do I do all that, the answer is simple. Only you know. My only advice is that you be able to look more inside. I am. It's a long way to go forward, but it gets shorter as you go inward. Me. By understanding the relationship with the mother and father, it is easier to see the purpose and mission. But are the purpose and mission something universal? I am. The universe is a fabric, a gestating matrix of realities. Each of the ties that compose it is a different path. You can choose thousands of paths in which you will find unique and special challenges, all according to your vibration. Because without resonance, the path would expel you, that is, they all have the reality with which they vibrate. But the universe itself is like a sphere, and that is to say, is there an end in a ball? Me. No, it's constant. I am. The ideas of mission and purpose are dual constructions, which consider the universe as a line of temporal and spatial expression, with a beginning and an end, linked by a story with an origin and a destination linked by a path. The mission will involve traveling as many paths as possible and living all the stories that are within your reach. The purpose will imply taking a notion of why the path is carried out, what is learned from it, and its transcendence through the creation of a new one. The universe in reality has no purpose, since in a sphere there is no end or destination. The universe does not have a mission, since it is not made of paths, but of vibration. Me, so I am. At the moment in which a conscious being arises in the universe, it uses the vibration it possesses to propel itself, creating the positive and negative as forces of creation. This is how the first idea of origin and destination arises. This is how the idea of a path, of a purpose, of challenges arises. It is not implicit in the Creator himself, but rather it is the creation. The purpose and the mission are the product of a being that expresses itself. Therefore, every mission is an echo of a previous purpose. Me, karma and dharma, the concepts of India. I am. Karma is the mission, what must be learned along the way. Dharma is learned, acquired wisdom. They are both the version that spiritual philosophy uses to describe mission and purpose. Both feet build life step by step. There are thousands of missions and thousands of purposes. The fundamental thing is to understand that both are a construction of one's own being. Therefore, you can only reconnect with them by returning to you, to your center, returning to the heart, which in Latin is said, me, recordis, remembering. So having understood the difference between mission and purpose, the way to balance them in me is to return to my center. I am the coherence, the meditation, the reconnection of the sacred trinity of your being, love, wisdom, and will, soul, body, and spirit, mind, emotion, and physical, vibration, energy, and matter, past, present, and future, wide, high, and deep, mother, father, and son, electron, proton, and neutron, mission, purpose, and being. Me, back to me. I remember then the matrix of the purpose embodied in my mother, the path of the law that my father guides. All converge in me so that it is I who believes them. I am my mission. I am my purpose. I am. Remember, remember, remember.